Hi everyone, it's Desiree from Mysterious Ways magazine. I'm so excited to have you guys here today because we have Mastin Kipp. He's a best-selling author, creator of functional life coaching, and all around just an inspirational guy. Say hello, Mastin.
Hey, how's it going? So happy to be here today.
Great.
Super excited.
Great. Mastin has an incredible story in our upcoming October-November issue of Mysterious Ways. So until then, we thought we'd ask Mastin for some tips on how to survive some storms in life. So first of all, Mastin, what can you tell us is a divine storm?
Sure. It's a divine storm. People call it other things that don't use such pretty language, but it's a time in life where it feels like everything is against you. Where you're not entirely sure why, but the money doesn't seem to be there, relationships are falling apart, maybe people are passing away unexpectedly, and literally you think to yourself, like, life must be against me. Am I walking around with a dark cloud over my head? Like, what is wrong with me? What's wrong with my life? And no matter what you do, it just seems like things are falling away and in a place like that in your life. And so, instead of deciding that your life is over and all the good stuff is in the past and the future's nothing but more pain, it's important to understand that everything in life is cyclical. You know, there's a day and then there's a night and there's a process. There's a winter, a spring, a summer, and a fall. Like, there are seasons in life. And so when you look at a moment like this of what I call a divine storm, the reason why I call it a divine storm is because ultimately a part of you has been getting intuitive messages. You've been knowing that there's probably something different you should be doing, and you aren't listening.
Right.
And so, you know, life turns up the volume to get your attention. Yes. You know, so it's a sign of you being stubborn is what it is. The divine storm ultimately is to help you understand what are the blocks that are in your way of helping you wake up to your life's purpose and helping you go to that next level in your life. And ultimately, it's a tremendously compassionate process, even though in the moment it feels like a kick in the teeth.
Right. So would you say everyone experiences the same amount of divine storms, or is it different per person?
I mean, I would say that, you know, everyone has sort of a personal curriculum, if you will. And so what one person's curriculum might be very different than somebody else's. So I don't necessarily know about the same amount, but I can kind of say that you know, you'll get resistance in your life to the same degree that you need it, essentially. I think that, like, I don't necessarily think God out there sends some storm to you. I think there's a part of you that's connected to all that is, and that you kind of, in a certain level, they're designed just for you. So it's not like some devious God up in the sky going, how are we going to mess with Desiree today?
Yes.
You know, I think it's more like a collaboration to say, like, how do we get somebody to change? Because what I do is I specialize in architecting change in people's life, and I do it very consciously and deliberately, but if someone's not willing, no one can help them. So what happens is you get more and more and more resistance until you finally get to the place where you go, fine, I surrender. And that's called a surrender point. And, like, you know, Jesus demonstrated this in the Garden of Gethsemane before he was crucified. It's like, he basically said, I don't want to do this, but thy will be done. And that's kind of where you want to get to. And so I think that, you know, divine storms, again, they're full of lots of compassion. Absolutely, it's difficult to get people to understand that because I think there's this entitlement that says that things shouldn't be hard. I have to have a perfect plan. Before I quit my job, I have to have all this money in escrow and a perfect 401k and all these things mapped out. Versus saying, like, you know what, like, I'm going to mature myself up. I'm going to stop blaming my parents for whatever they did or didn't do. I'm going to stop blaming the world for whatever I did and didn't do. Realize that I have been born to change the world, to bring light forward into this world, and that I'm here judging things that I should be helping sent to heal. It's a maturation process. And so,
like, let's say someone's going through a divine storm. What would you recommend that they do to survive, to get through that?
Sure. Well, so I think they're going to absolutely survive no matter what. I think it's really a matter of, do you want to go to the next level and thrive? Because I think that the purpose of a divine storm is to wake you up to another level of being, because the way that you've been doing things isn't working out anymore. And so I think that if you want to survive, you'll probably do just fine. But I think to thrive, it's really getting clear on, like, what is my part in this? Like, I got to take all blame off the table. I got to take 100% responsibility for my side. And then what are the choices I'm scared to make? Am I scared to leave a relationship? Am I scared to start a business? Am I scared to, put myself out there and be seen more? Am I scared to say I love you? Am I scared to say it's over? Like, figure out what those things are and, like, get courageous. Because I think ultimately the prescription for a divine storm is courage more than anything else. And courage feels like making a choice and your whole nervous system says, I'm going to die, is what it feels like. But you're not. You and I both know that, but it's engaging that nervous system and realizing that unless you're in mortal danger, fear is ultimately a compass showing you where to go.
What can someone do if they feel like they've just been through something really tragic or tough, like following a death in the family of a loved one, or they're facing addiction? Like,
sure.
Do you have a different tips for them, or?
Yeah, so I mean, addiction is different than grieving. So I'll talk about grieving first. I've lost probably 6 or 7 people to suicide that are close to me. I've lost friends of mine, drug overdoses. I just lost a friend of mine a couple months ago to brain cancer. So I'm familiar with loss. And the first thing I would say is, like, there's nothing anyone can say. Like, it is what it is, and my heart and soul and prayers are with you. There's nothing you got to do to change it or fix it. Sit with yourself and allow yourself the opportunity to grieve. The thing I've noticed with people who are grieving, if you've lost a child, if you've lost a parent or a loved one or a husband or a wife or someone really close to you, the tragedy is if someone close to you dies and you stop living your life, then there's actually been 2 deaths, not 1. And so you want to start to, in your grieving process, set your life up so that you're living the way that that person would want you to live, and pretend that they're watching you from heaven and they're looking at the choices that you're making. Like, would they be proud of the choices that you're making? If the answer is no, then you've got to actually, the best thing you can do for them while you're grieving is to allow yourself to live the life that they would want you to live. And I think that's probably the best way to honor someone who's passed. If you're in addiction, get your butt to a 12-step meeting and do 30 meetings in 30 days, and get into a sober environment. So whatever it is that you're trying to get sober from, alcohol, drugs, food, sugar, make sure that your environment is sober from that. Make sure that your peer group is a group that's supporting the direction you want to go in, and definitely try to change your environment as best you can.
Is there anything, like when you're going through a storm that in anything really, that you have to like remind yourself about to do?
I think it's just constantly reminding myself that, like, life is a series of expansions and contractions. And so I'm just like, I'm in a contraction.
Right.
It's just a contraction. I'm not going to die. Like, I just kind of remind myself of that consistently. And, I get through it. So that's sort of how, and, it always passes. That's why I have literally tattooed on my arm here. It says, "This too will pass. So trust." I have to remember that every single day.
Why would you say, asking yourself, like, why is this happening to me, toxic to yourself?
Because you're not going to come up with any good answers. Like, think about the answers you're going to come up with. If you have to ask, why did this happen to me?
Yeah.
From that state, because I'm not worthy, because I don't deserve it. Like, you're going to come up with the worst answers. Right. And any answer you come up with could be a logical one, but it doesn't mean it's true. Mm-hmm. So the better question to ask is, what am I learning here? What's the lesson? Because when you focus on the lesson, ultimately that's why it happened. Mm-hmm. And you get free.
So, Mastin, tell us a little bit about your book, Claim Your Power, and how you think that helps people get through.
Well, this book is like 10 years in the making. Right. And the subtitle is A 40-Day Journey. Let me see if I get this right. 40-Day Journey to dissolve the hidden blocks that keep you stuck and finally thrive in your life's unique purpose. So what I did with Claim Your Power over the last 10 years, I've worked with private clients on retreats, one-on-one, VIP coaching programs, online courses, hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of clients at this point. And have a lot of data around, like, the process of transformation and how to actually not just cope better, but dissolve the underlying issues that are holding you back, and essentially make your nervous system your friend and your ally instead of your enemy, and get you synced up with what you want to create in your life and what your purpose is, and how to bring that forward in a very practical way. Because I know for me in my transformational process, it wasn't until I got down to the root cause of what was holding me back that I actually made the shift and changed. And I don't think there's anything wrong with meditation or anything that I've mentioned. However, they're just going to be a coping mechanism if you don't do the underlying stuff. When you do the underlying work and you look at the mental and emotional blocks that are holding you back, those things amplify your purpose and amplify your joy and really help you, step into fulfillment in a better way.
Mastin, it's been so great talking to you. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really think so. To wrap things up, we were hoping that you would lead us in like a little prayer for surviving divine storms.
Sure, no problem. Happy to do that. So, if you're here now with us, I just invite you to create a little bit of a sacred space. If you're driving, then, stay driving. Take care of yourself. But just create a sacred space, and you can close your eyes or not. But just invoke a sense of the sacred, and I'll say a little prayer for you. So, dear God, Source, Spirit, Universe, Creator, my deepest wish today is that if anyone is going through a divine storm, if anyone has a hard time right now, if there's loss or grief or despair or hard times, if there's a victimization that's happening, if there's bad things that are happening, if there's polarization that's happening in somebody's life, my greatest prayer is that they feel your presence, that they know that you are with them, and that on a certain level that this has been sent to them, not, this is not happening to them, but it's happening for them so that they can learn and grow. And my prayer would be that they just really start to ask questions like, what is the spiritual lesson for this process? And how can I step into my purpose? And are there things I'm afraid to do that maybe I've been putting off? And could I start to do those things today? And as I start to take steps in the direction of courage, to know that they will be supported and to speak success and victory into those courageous steps. And I pray that they just get a confirmation today, whether it's a book or it's a tweet or it's a Facebook message or it's a knowing glance or a hug from a stranger, whatever it is, that you send a confirmation that they're on the right path and that they know the right choice to make, and that when they're feeling scared and when they're feeling like messy and when they're feeling like, I don't know if I can do this, that they take that step anyway. Know that your presence and your power and your timing is all wise, all knowing, and full of nothing but love and grace. And the more that we can surrender to that and the more that we can allow that into our life, the smoother things get. So there's a purpose to this, and my deepest prayer is that they ask the question, what am I learning? And that you give them a confirmation that they're on the right path today. Amen.
Thank you so much for that, Mastin. So tell us where people can find you and follow you online.
Sure. So there's two places. One is claimyourpowerbook.com. And on that website, you can grab the book, get access to the course that I mentioned to help you actually implement the process, claimyourpowerbook.com, and then mastinkipp.com for everything else. That's everything me, retreats, events, blog posts, all that jazz.
Perfect. Well, thank you again for chatting with us again. It was so great to talk to you.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me today.
And everyone, Mysterious Ways fans, stay tuned for Mastin's amazing story in our upcoming October-November issue of Mysterious Ways. We're very excited. And make sure to follow us on facebook.com/Mysterious Ways for even more stories of wonder. Until next time, everyone. Bye.